Alright, so today I want to talk about a concept that I came up with, and it's not really a concept, it's a realization that I can label the types of trades based on where and what happening, right? So what I would do is I would label the market. First I would create support and resistance line, seeing as we get to understand that that is what the market runs off of. It's the basis for the majority of market patterns that happen. Alright, so we can switch to black. Let's use here. Um, so this is just a rough outline of what major support and resistance may be on a forward chart, right? We'll have one here. So most of the markets, whether it's trending or consolidating, the patterns are based around turning points in the market, which is essentially support and resistance. Let's use polygon line, right? So typical market structure would be, and I don't really want it to take on this market structure here. Let's say the market with this. Right? So this alright, so you would say that this is the market make a move up, right? And we know well sometimes what happens is when the market comes from a long ass trend, it excuse the language, it usually decides to consolidate. So this could be the market consolidating inside of here. It's basically what happening to USD chef currently. So the market is randomly inside of here. And what happens is that it eventually will break out. The market will break, and then we will look for the retest. The retest doesn't always come right after, but a retest of previous broken consolidation usually comes. And with that comes a drastic reaction in the market, right? So you could say that, well, sometimes the market would skip a point, it will come back, and then it could bounce here, come down, right? So I don't want to get too detailed and stuff, but I guess it's probably too late for that. And what I would do is I would change color, and I would use what we call what I would consider minor areas of support and resistance. So the market have these areas that we could partially see turning points in the market. Let's just pretend that this is a turning point here, and we could clearly see that this is a turning point. Even in a bogus market like this, there's rules. There's always rules to anything in life. There's a reason why things work the way that they do. Alright. So what I will do. Alright, so we're using this layout as basic market structure. We have the majority of the components that a market would have within this diagram. Even though this is made up on the spot, we could go on almost any chart and see that's what happened. We have trend, consolidation, break of trend, retest. Guess what's gonna happen? Bam, bam, bam. And we could go as far back in the past as we can. We have consolidation. We could take our box, throw it on top right here. We have consolidation, market trading back and forth in between. The box break. And within here we will have several levels, of course. And we could see, well, here it traded below. But basically, no matter what level I have, the consolidation will break and usually retest. And when it does retest, there'll be a huge reaction off of it. So let's just assume that this is the break and retest with the market, because we're really not sure where somewhere inside of here is the defining factor for the eventual breakout of this thing, right? So you could see the market had a major reaction after that. Took some time, had a shift of momentum, higher highs, boom, back into consolidation. It lasted a few, let's see how long this lasted, 41 days. I wonder why. Massive movement up. It took some time to get there as well, but it took 28 days to rise 585 pips. But it took 41 days on a trading in, let me say 200 pip zone as a consolidation, not even 200, less than 200, and then broke out and retest. So what we're expecting is a continuation down. It's simple market geometry. It's what happens. The market could only do so much things, right? Here we could see market broke, move up, market come down, well, market consolidate, broke up. So what would happen if it is the market was supposed to come back to the zone? You'll expect a major reaction off of it. Boom, market came back, it sold off after retracing a little bit too deep into it, so that might be considered. But as we had a eventual break and retest of the same level that any pass, let's just move on, because I could analyze this whole day. Everything just makes sense. So we could see that this pattern is not far off from the actual market, and what it is, the purpose of this video is for, it's to, what is that? Nope. The purpose of this video is mainly to be able to tell what type of trade we're taking, and possibly to have some sort of probability weighting based on the type of trade. So all the trades on them that we would take inside of here, I wish that there was geometry that I can I wish that there was geometry. I know there's this rectangle thing. Alright, so yeah, I could use that. So any trade that would be taken off of the consolidation zone, which is just this area, I would say that it's a consolidation trade. Or no, it's not a consolidation trade, my bad. It's a zone retest. So if it is we had our text, we could say zone retest, right? So we label it, this is what that is, with a nice blue color. Well, that didn't work. This is our zone retest. That's it. And obviously there's, if you have one zone, there's another one, so zone retest. So generally you don't know what the market is going to do when it's like this. All you can do is get the lowest low and the highest high and trade off of that, putting your risk above, right? This is zone retest. And then what we have is another trade. Here's another trade. It's here. Alright, so let's change the color a bit. Change the color. Let's change the color, right? And we have this trade. This is what it is. I would call, let's disable that, draw a line from it. I would call this a major retest or major break and retest, right? The probability on this type of trade is massive. I spell major wrong. How can I edit this? I'm not too sure. Alright, so let's pretend that that word there is major, right? And you know, I keep scrolling that. Alright, so we have major break and retest. We have these two opportunities here. It's similar to the initial retest, and we could see the market fell, at least in this example, and in reality it usually does. Right, this type of trade, I'll call this, it's the same thing, MRA retest. So these are the trades where the market is retesting the break of a recent come here, right? MRA retest. This is the market retesting previous consolidation, but as after bouncing off a 4-hour level or a major level, right? So there is this trade also. All these trades are based off of support and resistance, but there's different ways that they can happen. And this type of trade, this is probably the most risky, but it works. So we'll call this counter trend trade, because that's what it is. It's counter to the current trend, because this trend could continue and continue and continue. By taking a buy here, I don't even think that your risk should be your take profit, your first take profit shouldn't be all the way up here. It should be the first area, it should be somewhere around here, and then you have a second one and the third. I don't think that you really want to be passing this because you're expecting a retest here. Even though that is what you expect, you don't know what the market will do, but it's better to be prepared than not prepared. Alright, so we have zone retest, both buys and sells. We have a major break and retest. We have the major area retest, so we know this is a strong area, and once the market comes back up, our initial trade direction will be to sell because the market likes to wick on that. Same thing here. This is a nice trade as well, but it's not as high probability as this because this is with the trend. Another thing to note is that usually, let's see if it is I can usually, and I will decide to change the color. Let's use this. So something happens in the market sometimes, and the majority of times I should say, this retest here is most times a 61.8 retracement of the initial move down. So the market will move down and then there'll be this retracement back up, and this retracement would sometimes come to about 68%, and that could be both Christopher Derrick's way or the usual way. So here there's an example I can pull from in the real market. I haven't measured this, I don't know, but it's high probability that it would be a 61. So measuring it one way, the 61 will actually be 38. Measuring it another way, it will be the opposite, right? So that's right, zone to zone. We have zone touch, which is the high of the initial move down, boom, market fall, retest 38.2, and if it is in a comfortable scene that way, we can pull the 100 this direction. It's basically we just draw the first back to front, 61, right? Nothing changed. So 61 is actually 38, 38 to 61, it doesn't matter. Alright, so this area here, which body market touch and respected, is a 61%. So in all actuality, if you were supposed to draw this line a little more conservative, you would draw it where the wicks on them are, not the major wicks, but where the market tend to stay, which is around here. So this is which part you could have drawn another zone, and then because you're not sure, what you will do is you box this area and say, well, this is my major reversal zone, because we could see the market don't stay inside of here long. So if it comes back in this box, it will drop. It's just funny enough that the retracement was at 61.8 as I was demonstrating here. Right? It's something you could just watch and know, okay, that's at 61, it's approaching 61, it's support and resistance, it's a major reversal area. Take the trade, make sure your risk and your profitability is more than 1-to-1. Bang, 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 money, right? So we talk about zone retest. This is within consolidation, break and retest, major reversal zones. This is basically this area here.